What up, y'all? It's Alchemy of Life back with another video. Before we get started, like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content that I've been bringing on my channel. It is Scorpio season. I am a Scorpio, and my sun sign, Pluto on Scorpio, Midhaven is Scorpio. Got a lot of important signs in Scorpio, but today we're doing the second part of essentially an 8-part series. It's a Hermetic Philosophy if you add the all into it, like it would in the Kabali, and then it's 8 parts. Well, Kabali has more than 8 parts, but we're talking about the principles. I'm gonna start off by lighting some Palo Santo. We're not doing no sage today. So I'm just going to light this and we're going to get started. Or I can I can do both. So basically, I also got my essential oil diffuser going too, orange oil. Sunday, Archangel Michael Day, Sunday, Day of the Sun. So what is mentalism? What is the mental plane? The mental plane is the link between above and below. It's the link between the physical plane and the spiritual plane. When they say mind is all is mind, they're not lying. Everything comes from an all-pervading thought. So I will be referencing this book during this series. Keith Garcia, aka Man of Letters on YouTube. You've probably seen him before. I've been reading this book. I am very familiar on the Hermetic Philosophy myself, which is why I picked up the book, because he simplifies it for, beginners. Even though I'm not a beginner, maybe in the eyes of someone who's been doing this 20 years or more, something like that. But, in my eyes, I'm not a beginner. I'm not new to the Hermetic Philosophy in a conscious way. So, what is mentalism besides a thought? It could be seen as vibration and frequency, a state of being. The mind is a state of being in one way, because it either is or it isn't. So when we talk about vibration or frequency and frequency is a state of being, how you feel. That's why they say we create with emotions. Emotion equals energy in motion. And the mental plane or mentalism can be a tough subject. I'm not even gonna lie. When I first got into reading the Kabali years ago, it was a little bit tough for me, but now I have a higher understanding of what it is. We get Palo Santo, just let it burn like Usher. But really, the mental plane, mentalism, vibration, frequency, it's very, very important. If you don't get anything else, you need to on the light switch. It means it was dark. So the mind can be seen as spirit. The spiritual realm, but also the physical realm. That's why it's the link between worlds, because it has both of those worlds, the above and below, inside of it. That's why it can create on top and on bottom. The upper chakras and the lower chakra, the root chakra as well as the crown chakra. It's definitely something like when you think of the law of attraction. mental creation, or the law of vibration. Those are touched far too often and explained. All 7 of the basic Hermetic laws are only capable of understanding the mental creation process. Follow closely and I will explain how infinity is possible, how we can tap into the universal laws of the all and its operating systems. We will enter our lives as magicians from here on out. But first things first, let's discuss the universe within New Age thought and spirituality. The terminology and paradigms are that the universe is the all. The universe is not the all. Due to the nature of the all, from which we have already gone over, this cannot be. We see constant change within the universe and of the universe itself. Therefore, the universe cannot be the all, for there is nothing outside of the all in which to instigate change. Remember, the all operates as substantiality of existence. Thus, it is the absolute truth and therefore must be unchanging. Man of Letters, aka Keith Garcia. Get this book, people. Please get it. He's really tapped in. And that was from from a piece of his chapter on mentalism. So, when you think about mentalism, think about your thoughts. Where is your mind when you go to create? When you go to do spell work? When you go to do anything? When you're mad, when you're sad, when you're emotional? Where are your thoughts going? Because you will only create out of that space from which you are at that point. Law of correspondence. Law of rhythm. Rhythm compensates. I mean, it's just what it is. Like, if you cannot understand mentalism, it's hard to understand any other principle going forth. So it's something you just sometimes you gotta come back to it. Like I did. I just kept reading the Hermetic Philosophy, and I kept studying other things, and I kept adding on to, my mental universe in a way, and I fucked around and understood mentalism. The mind creates and destroys worlds. Circumstances don't matter, only states of being matter, which is a sub-chapter heading in his book. And I'm going to go over another piece of something that I highlighted that I thought was substantial. Well, Palo Santo went out. But he says the reason why the principle of mentalism is so substantial because everything begins within the mind. Remember, according to the law of mentalism, all universes exists within the mind of the all. Us being extensions of that creation process, of that creative process, and of the all means we must operate out of the same concept as above, so below. The law of correspondence. In the Emerald Tablets, it will be referenced as above, so below. The law of above and below. So what that means is that which we create in the spiritual realm with our mind, we create with our mind in the physical realm. So I've been really into looking into ailments and other people's ailments, and whether it be sickness, an ailment, or something you're going through, yada yada yada. Those things will manifest physically. Like if you're going through something spiritually, it will manifest always physically as an illness or an ailment or something of that nature. So some of you guys might think that, oh, why me? Oh, poor me. And you're dealing with this certain thing with your body, or it may not even be a sickness. It could be that you're overweight, or that you got big thighs, or whatever. Those all have spiritual meanings to them. If you can just get to the root of them, use your mind, tap into the mental plane, which will take you to the higher realm, the spiritual realm, and you understand where the fuck it's coming from, the root of the problem. I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier today, a dear friend, about how the root cause is where everything comes from. If you could tear the fucking roots of a plant out of the ground, it grows no more. Or how about this? When I go to de-weed the garden, when I just de-weed the garden, they fucking grow back. It looks good for a few days or for a few weeks. They fucking grow back slowly but surely. I'll have to do it again. But if I could just, get to the root of it, tear the roots out, or in the beginning, when I first, turn over the ground, I do things to make sure that no weeds grow in that area or can grow, or the roots can't even grow, I've essentially solved the problem. And it will be no more. It won't even come about. But in most people, the problem or the issue has already manifested, so you have to pull the root out. The root of a physical issue, good or bad, will always, it roots itself in the physical, seemingly as an illusion, but the root will always be in the spiritual. Everything is backwards. That's why I say everything is backwards. You have to think about the root in the spiritual, and the spiritual is seen as the above, and the physical as the below. So we see the plant, but we don't see the root. We see the problem, but we don't see what caused it. You see what I'm saying? Everything is backwards. It's called the mirror dimension. It's called reflection. It's called fucking reality. And that's a mind fuck to think of it as an issue or an ailment, getting to the root of it as a plant upside down. Think about, like in Stranger Things, they're talking about the upside down world. It's kind of spooky, kind of odd, kind of weird. So then, how can you use the mental plane? Again, like I kind of gave you just there a few ways to use it to, root out some of your problems. But how do you create from mind? So Man Letters has another sublet chapter in here, how to create from mind. It says it's easy, step 1, turn everything into a game. Turn everything into something that moves you. Again, with emotions. Emotions create the reality. And the mind is like the playground. Your emotion on the playground is what matters. So as long as you're playing, you'll be okay. Because it's kind of hard, almost impossible, to be playing and not to be having fun. Because of what we associate with the word play. Because words are vibration and frequency. They hold weight. They hold denseness. Think about it, this one word, this one term, when you unpack it and you see what it means, it's like a paragraph sometimes it's like a line. Especially the words that have like a paragraph type meaning, I can tell you these words are symbols and sigils. Because you had something that was essentially light, because it was just one word or one term, and then you unpack it, and now you see it means this, that, and the other. It means so much more. You didn't know that one word could be so dense. Then there are some words that aren't so dense. They're as light as, the word themselves, but it still means something. It's just lighter than other words, but it's still dense at the same time. So it's like this. It's like one of my jobs that I do, one of my jobs that I do right now, trying to help myself get financial freedom. One of the jobs I do now is I work the after school program at elementary school. I get paid to play and to do activities and, to help children be their best selves, K through 5th grade. Every day is not a good day, but I get paid to have fun. You see what I'm saying? Turn everything into a game. Turn everything into something that moves you. Man of letters. We create with emotions. At first, I was uneasy about it because it was a job in a district I had applied for just in passing. I was trying to get the maintenance position, but they kind of had like a job fair, so I was just going around the different tables and applying different things, really trying to get a maintenance job in the district, and I ended up getting this job. And it makes me more money than my actual job that I had at that time, that I still have. And they're kind of fucking with my hours, so I just see that job as adding to it. Then I have my third job, my weekend job, which I've had for the longest out of all of them. Not by far that much longer than my other job at the store that I work at, that I do maintenance at, and do clean as well. I got that job like a month or two, like a month or two after that. But this other job, I love it. It's literally a game. I work for the football team, the University of Illinois football team. I work in the parking lots and stuff. I work in the administrative parking lot with all the coaches and higher ups. That was no coincidence. Everything is for a reason. I have so many contacts and so many different people that love me out there. They wait to see me every year. It's a seasonal job, obviously, about to end in a couple games. But I've made a lot of friends, met some pretty famous people, and they love me. It's just me being me. And I'm literally having a ball. The tailgaters love me. They always bring me stuff. The perks are good, But I'm playing, essentially. I've turned it into a game. I have a job, 2 jobs that I have turned. Now, I didn't have to turn them into a game, but I see them that way, so I have fun. So it's like I'm playing. My other job isn't like that. I don't turn it into a game. I kind of have a hard time trying to do that. So it's the opposite. So that's mentalism at its peak. It's the law of attraction, or aka the law of vibration. Because they say like attracts like, and it's more like evokes like, because 2 magnets with the same polarity do not fucking attract each other. I just want you guys to remember that. 2 magnets with the same polarity do not attract each other. And in the law of attraction, with like attracts like, it relies heavily on that we're creating from a magnetic field, a magnetic energetic field. So it's just what it's like is you have a positive and a negative, and the way that they attract each other, there's at least one similarity between them that will attract each other. That will bring two totally different species or polarities together because they have that one thing that is the same. It's like when you have a violin, 2 violins, and they're both tuned. They're both tuned to the same frequency, and you play the E string of one violin, and the other violin's on the other side of the room. The E string of the other violin, even though it's on the other side of the room, will start to vibrate and or play. They could be 2 different totally brands, 2 different totally types of violins, but yet if they are tuned to the same frequency, and you play one of the strings, the corresponding string on the other one will play. That's how that works. That's how the law of attraction works in a nutshell. So step 2 that Keith has on here is that our emotions have physical, measurable wavelengths. Saying that our emotions are vibrations and frequencies. It's like we all know that one person that when they come into a room, their energy can shift the room in a certain type of way. Some people that could be a negative person, and some people that could be a positive person. Some people can come into a room of fucking sad, depressed people, and those sad, depressed people become happy because that one person, their frequency is that of the opposite of that. It helps them see happiness in things, so they attract that happiness in that moment and become that. It's not that that person is, their happiness or their comfort or whatever. It's just that they help them see that inside their own life. And then, like, when another person kind of like, I love my dad. We've definitely had it out over the years. He's definitely treated me like I wasn't his son most of my life, like I wasn't his DNA or whatever. But it's because of how he grew up and how his family was. It's a lot into it, but he always wasn't the greatest father. So I'm still working on this one part in my life. It's kind of like when he walks into a room, it's kind of like, this motherfucker. It could be nothing. We could be on good terms that day. It's just like, because that's his energy. We were just laughing today. We were just having fun laughing today, But a lot of times it's just like, because that's the energy. So our emotions and have physical measurable wavelengths. It's fucking true. Prove me wrong. Prove Keith wrong. Come on, we open it. At least I know I am open to it. I'm pretty sure he would be too. He also says, think about what we associate the word play with. According to a thesaurus, it is just disconnect. Okay, guys, the live stream cut out. It fucking cut out. So let me stop this and see what happened.